Good morning. Saturday, October 11th, 2025. I'm Larissa. This is my video diary. The time has come once again to drink from skulls. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. There is humidity. There is humidity rolling in off of the ocean. And I hurt. My Monday we're supposed to have rain. Ugh. Ugh. Cha 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 cha. So yesterday I went out to this place where I learned how to tuft rugs, right? And they told me that they had a yarn winder and that I could use it. So I got all this yarn that I need to get into a different form so that I can use it to tuft. Anyway. I get out there and the people that I had been talking to via email from the company, the business, didn't tell their staff that I was coming. So that was a little awkward, to say the least. I'm like, oh. She's like, do you have an appointment? I'm like, no, not really. So then she doesn't know how to use the machine that they have. Once we get it all worked out, I show her the email, she talks to somebody. She doesn't know how to use the machine. So we have to figure out how to use the machine. They don't have all of the equipment that they told me, that they said they had. And the piece of equipment that was missing makes using the tool a two-person job as opposed to a one-person job. Well, I'm just one person. And she was eager to assist me, but I didn't want to take her time away from their customers. Right? Because they had people there who had reservations. And besides that, it took a really long time to do one ball of yarn. And I have like 50 balls of yarn I need to make. And then on top of that, after doing one ball of yarn, I don't think it's going to work for my purposes the way I need it to work. Right? So I need the yarn. I want the yarn on cones to work with. So I felt bad. And she felt bad, Like she kept apologizing. I'm like, you don't need to apologize. This isn't your fault. I said, please let your manager know. Let them know that thank you for letting me come in to use this. That I really appreciate the opportunity. It's not what I need. Blah blah blah. And I said, what is your manager's name? Because I've been emailing with somebody and they haven't been giving me their name. Well, when I told her I wanted to talk to the manager, she like got all weird. Like I wasn't upset with her. She's like, I'm new here. I'm like, you haven't done anything wrong. I'm like, no, thank you. So, I don't know. English was not her first language. And I'm pretty sure the person that I'm dealing with in email, English is not their first language either. So it makes it challenging for communication both ways, right? They're Chinese. They're Chinese people who own this company, in this business in San Jose. It has to really be hard to be Chinese American or Russian American in the U.S. right now. Right? Yeah, I can't. That has to be hard. And I'm not talking about people who are living here who are not citizens or are not on a path to citizenship. I mean, people that are here who from those countries who want to be Americans. That has to be really, really hard right now for them, right? Because like everything that's going on, it's like, well, yeah, that's why I want to be an American, why I don't want to be there anymore, right? Kind of thing. And yet there has to be some prejudice. I try to be until and or unless somebody shows me different, I try to be uh, without judgment when I meet people from such groups here in the United States, because it's one of two things. They either really are unhappy with the situation like I am, or the opposite, right? So I try to give people the benefit of the doubt because my family came to this country as immigrants because of similar things. So I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I also, it's also challenging for me as American because I am so displeased with my country right now, right? So displeased with so many things that are happening in my country right now. Now, the cities where Trump is deploying National Guard, they are largely gang infested cities. And on one hand, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get why you think that might be necessary, right? Because I'm surprised he hasn't sent him to Oakland, right? I really am. I'm surprised he hasn't sent him to Oakland. Um, and on the other hand, it's just like, no, which is the heavier hand. You don't sick the military on your own people. It's a line, right? It's a line that's been crossed. And beyond that, it's against the Constitution. You know, it's just not right. And there's so many things. That's just one of them for me. It's just one of them. It's a horrific precedent. So I'm so very unhappy with my country right now, and to the point that I'm willing to leave. And I said that during the Iraq War as well. I made comment about, oh, let's move to Canada, blah blah blah, as that's when my husband was still a Canadian citizen. I was like, oh, I'll go to Canada with you. If you want to go back to Canada, I'll go with you. But it wasn't serious. I seriously am willing to leave. And at this point, if this is how things are going to go, and if these precedents are going to be set, you know, that has such far-reaching implications in the future that I just don't see our country recovering from. And I don't feel kinship with fellow Americans right now. After everything that I have been through over the past 20 years, I don't feel any kinship with Americans. Americans have treated me so poorly, so poorly. Others, non Americans, have treated me poorly as well, but I can accept that as an American, right? Lots of people hate Americans. But what I'm talking about is the repeated theft and neglect of my humanity, my personal individual rights as a human being. You know, the way the police have treated me, the way government has treated me, the way family has treated me, the way strangers, every place that I've gone, we've moved to. I feel zero kinship with Americans right now. And out here in California, things that I warned people of, like, Roe versus Wade, the left out here, the baby boomer left out here is very myopic and entitled and spoiled, and they're extremely rude. And I was told I was crazy. I was poo-pooed. Oh, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. You don't need to worry about that. We fought for that for you, Larissa. This was the attitude of hippie bitches out here, old hippie bitches. And then on top of it, the just go have a baby anyway kind of thing. It's like, well, like, and now the uproar about it, and I'm just like, I told you so. I just like I feel zero kinship. I feel zero kinship with Americans right now, and that's a challenging place to be, right? So I don't even really feel like I'm part of that group. Mhm. And the back and forth between the left and the right here in California is just nauseating as a person who does not belong to the left or the right, as a third party voter, as a third party American. Watching Gavin and the right throw yard darts at each other is, ugh, like, dude, somebody's gonna get their eye poked out. You know. Speaking of yard darts, I was telling Omar the other night. I said, you know, uh, get some plum brandy and mix it with some seltzer or something, and pour it into a yard flamingo, right? Because they usually have the hole in the back, right? And then you can drink out of them, right? And starve it. And you call it a Ukrainian yard dart. Yard darts, lawn darts, they're these toys. They're these giant darts that you stood at either end. It was kind of like horseshoes or bocce ball. And there was a ring that you put down. And you could stand and you toss out the ring on either side. And then um, you had to get your darts in the ring, these yard darts. Well, they're heavy and they're big, and like people got killed with them. And so they were outlawed. You can't have them anymore. It's an illegal game. You can't play yard darts or lawn darts or whatever. Anyway, yeah. So if you have a bar and you get a bunch of flamingos, mix some plum brandy, mix some palinka and seltzer. Mix some palinka and seltzer in the flamingo. It's a Ukrainian Lawn dart, yard dart. Name of the drink. Oh, Palinka's good. I've never had Palinka. Palinka. No, I'm not talking about Rob Palinka. I'm talking about the liquor Palinka. Anyway. So that's dry. After it was a bust of my time. It wasn't a total bust of my time. Um, the young woman that was working at the tufting place in San Jose, she was very nice, and she was, like, I felt bad. I felt bad because she thought I was complaining, and I wasn't. I was like, no, 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 no. I'm trying to thank you. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste any more of my time, and I don't want to ruin all my yarn here, right? So I went back. I came back from over there, from over the hill, and I went into the gallery, went into the studio, and the bowls, the clay still isn't quite firm enough. So hopefully by today it's going to be, so I can finish carving those. And so since the clay wasn't dry enough, wasn't firm enough, then I started. I made a new. I adapted my pattern, like I said I was going to do for my jacket. And we'll see. It's made, what I did has made the sleeve a little challenging, and so I'm probably going to change something on that to make the sleeve a little easier to finish. But I have one of those started, and it's cute. The fabric's a pain in the ass. I got this chunk of remnant that has this real heavy, um, like coiling on it, coiled patterning on it, raised patterning, and it's not a brocade, right? Like this is applied. It's like, oh God, what the hell is that technique called? Anyway, it's raised as much as like a seed bead would be, right? But it's fabric. It's not beads, and it's a neat pattern, right? The fabric looks really cool, but it's an issue of, is it practical to use, and it's hard to sew through. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm seeing why it was remnant, why like people didn't want it, right? Like, 'cause it's difficult. But if I can get it to work, the jacket's gonna be really cute. Um, but it's not lined, and it doesn't have pockets. So it's just, kind of like a cardigan kind of thing. But it's helping me work out this new shape. So that's good. That's good. So it's that fabric, and then I'm using some fairly wide, like 2-inch wide hat ribbon on it as well, and vintage hat ribbon on it. Looks nice. Yeah, finish that jacket up and work on those bowls today, and then work on designing this frame. And this frame that I'm going to build, my tufting frame, it's going to be very large, but I think I'm also going to build it in such a way that it has an attachment that I can do card weaving, set up to do card weaving on it. Last night, I watched this video on, it was a long video, it was like an hour and 20 minutes, um, of this woman like giving instruction. It looked like it was an instructional video that like a college level teacher made for her class, right? It looked like something. It looked like it was like, it reminded me of like the tutorials that I got at CCS, right? The way the woman presented and everything. So she came off as a college professor, as an art school professor, and it was older. It was an older video. You could tell it had been transferred to digital from VHS, and like original VHS kind of thing. It had that quality of video, plus her outfit and and her haircut and everything. I was like, oh, look at this. This is like late 70s, early 80s kind of fiber art teacher. It was a really good tutorial though. And I've read stuff about card weaving before. I have some cards that I made to do a pattern that I haven't actually set up. I was looking at that stuff before I moved my gallery, before I moved my space. So, but anyway, part of card weaving is setting up tension, and you know, I don't want to belt weave. I don't want to anchor it to myself when I'm weaving, but I think I could set it up on my on that frame, right? So this frame that I'm going to build, I think I'm going to build it in such a way that it can be used for multiple types of textile fabrication, right? Not just the um, not just the tufting, because I'd like it to be multifunctional, right? So, and it would be interesting to do like a tablet weave on a very large scale. So that's I have all these things like just floating around in my brains right now, stuff that I'm working on. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's like what I got going on. That's like what's going on with me right now. And like we got carry out, we got Thai carry out for dinner last night. There's a bunch of Thai restaurants around here, and there's one in particular that there's one in particular that I really really like. It's called Real Thai, and they just have the best fresh rolls. I don't know what it is, the sprouts that they use, the seasoning on their tofu, like and it's always cut just right. Almost like, well, where's the worst one? Worst fresh rolls? Because there's this other restaurant that we used to go to when we first moved out here that was really really good when we first moved here, and in the past like 2 years, the food's gone downhill. Like the place still looks the same, and the service has always been kind of like mediocre, right? But the food used to be really, really good. And I think it's the kind of thing, having worked in restaurants, it's the kind of thing they have lost their head chef. And when the place used to have, when we used to go there, there was a little old woman in the back, grandma. There was a bubby in the back. And I'm guessing, if I had to guess, she's probably passed away, because like the soups aren't quite the same anymore, and prep isn't quite the same anymore, and it's made a big difference. The food's really gone downhill. I used to really enjoy their fresh rolls. Their fresh rolls are terrible now. They're really terrible. And the soup is really bad. Like a while back, they make this pineapple soup, or they used to make this pineapple soup that was very good. And it was particularly good if you were having digestive issues, because pineapple's full of digestive enzymes, right? Um, and I ordered it one time. When Omar was coming home with, he's like, "Oh, I'll get carry out. What do you want?" I said, "I want this pineapple soup," because I'd had an upset stomach for a couple days, and so I wanted something that was gonna, help with digestion and stuff. And I ordered the pineapple soup, and it was terrible. It was awful. Like I said, it used to be really good. So I don't know. We're not going there anymore. I don't think. That's what we had for dinner last night. Anyway, I'd get showered and dressed and go into the gallery. I'm trying to wean myself off of the news. And it's not just the news. I have to wean myself off commentary and stuff too. So I think something I might do here in the next couple days is make myself a nice big video playlist of like different tutorials and documentaries that I want to watch, for me to choose from when I feel like I need to watch something to keep me away from news and politics, so I can prepare for my card reading. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't even want to comment on the whole Israel Hamas thing, because I don't care what anybody says. Everything still remains to be seen. And I haven't seen anywhere where specific points of negotiation were reached. Like, this is just like, so far to me, it just sounds like Donald Trump's, everybody saying, oh yeah, no, we're peace now, peace now. And I don't see how anything has actually changed. Um, have hostages actually been released, kind of thing? Um, are they, I just, I'm so weary of Israeli conflict. The word peace and Israel do not fit together in my lexicon, right? Like, I'm be 47 in January. My 47 years, that my only association with Israel is with violence, right? I remember being a little girl helping my mom fold laundry in our townhouse living room while she was watching Donahue, and Donahue was interviewing Edward Said. Like, I remember the interview, watching it when it was live, because I remember asking my mom who were Arabs, and I remember thinking that Mr. Said was very handsome. And we were living out by Philadelphia at the time, outside of Philly. We had just moved from Pittsburgh out to outside of Philly, and that's also when Mumia Abu Jamal was imprisoned, and there was all kinds of graffiti all over the area on all the overpasses that said "Free Mumia." There was an overpass that my school bus went under every day that had a huge, all over it, "Free Mumia." So there's just some things that are etched into my mind, my memory. So the whole Israel thing, I'm very nonplussed. Nonplussed. Anyway, I remember watching Edward Said talk about being pulled from their homes. I remember the Donahue interview. I remember Donahue and his glasses. So, my mom watched Donahue every day. Do my teeth look whiter? I got some Crest white strips. No, I'm not doing any commercials for anybody. Nobody gives me anything for free. I think they might look a little whiter. I've used them twice now. I drink, my tea is like pink, you know, and I drink coffee, you know. I don't drink tons of wine, but I do drink some wine. But it's mostly my tea and coffee. Tea stained teeth. You know, my old lady teeth. They're looking a little whiter. Good job, Crest Strips. Anyway. That's how I'm feeling. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Gotta go into the gallery today. I think I might open my doors while I'm in there working. Why not? If I'm gonna be there all weekend, I might as well be open. See what kind of abuse they have for me. What kind of abuse does humanity have for Larissa to come in and say rude things to me in my space? Tell me how I should let other people work in my space. It's so fucking rude when people come in and say, "Oh, you don't teach classes? You don't want people coming in here and working with you?" No. This is my fucking space, and I've had to sacrifice and fight to have it. No, nobody else. That's what people will come in and be like, "Oh, you should teach my kid. Oh, I'd love to take a workshop." No. I used to try to offer workshops, and I was always told that I didn't have anything to offer. So I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed because it's not like I have that many new skills, right? Anyway, anyway, I ordered the tools that I need to wind the yarn onto cones, so we'll see how long it takes to get here. Both the things that I ordered yesterday are both coming from domestic companies, so hopefully it won't take too long. So like there's this umbrella thing that you got to wrap the skein on that spins, to release the yarn while it's being wound onto the cone. And then this other thing I got, it's this new thing, this newfangled cone winder, individual cone winder thing. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see.